Hey, you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl, Nikki, and today I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at naughtylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable, and please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Good afternoon, Naughty Crew. I apologize for being late, but I got an important phone call and just know life is just life for me too, okay? But I appreciate you all hanging in there and waiting for me and joining me this afternoon, okay? I got a show lined up for you today. I want to get into Jennifer Williams and the Basketball Wives not showing up to her wedding. And I also want to get into Tracy Braxton's husband, Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. recently having an altercation. I don't know if it's recent or not, but the footage was just leaked. So I want to touch on that. And also I want to get into how we got to the monster of the diddler, okay? Who created this monster? And it all goes back to the parents, Naughty Crew. So thumbs up this video, share it. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. No, I just got an important phone call, feminine. So I appreciate you all just hanging in there for me. Shout out to everyone, Grown Woman, AT2, Miss Kaiser. Thank you all for joining me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this intro and then we're gonna dive right into the show. Here we go. Oh, and also we're gonna get into Tia Mowry talking about her and her sister aren't close. Can I say that's one of those divorces that I'm just really sick of hearing about. Her and Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. I'm just over it. Like y'all divorces are final. Move on with your life. Why do we have to keep reliving this with you? And granted, I know divorce is hard or whatever, but it's just like we don't need to know the why at this point. All right, let's get started with the show. Okay. Let's start with Tia Mowry since we're on it already. She has a new reality show that's starting up, I believe either this week or next week. It's supposed to come on after the Braxton Family Values, and which I feel like that's another show that this like, come on, y'all exploiting Tracy Braxton, God rest her soul, like child. And I believe because of the show, that's why they're bringing about out all this stuff about Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. All to drive the ratings for the show or whatever. So Tia Mowry just recently sat down, and she is expressing some of her feelings about the divorce and her relationship with her sister. Shout out to Hollywood Unlock, okay? Here we go. Fair use. Everything we discuss here falls under fair use commentary.
Being a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
We're about to go to daddy's house now. Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close. And I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
How you doing? How you feeling?
Okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing the headlines. I know y'all are going viral right now with the awkward hug. Like, it's so
exhausting.
stupid.
It's exhausting.
No.
The red carpet video, yeah, about that. This was the first time that Corey and I had ever seen each other on the family dynamic of had ever seen each other on the red carpet since the divorce. This is an event where women are being celebrated and honored. And he had never gone to any one of these events. I go to them almost every year. It was blown way out of proportion. Had ever seen each other on the red carpet since the divorce. This is an event where women are being celebrated and
Look, is it blown way out of proportion? Because you guys are making it blown out of proportion or whatever. What I was surprised about is hearing that her and her sister aren't that close. Like, you take it for face value or whatever. I just really feel like they're trolling the mess out of this. All right. And then now she's coming back and retracting it. Tia Mowry, shout out to the Jasmine brand. Tia Mowry clarifies her not close comment about twin sister Tamara. I love my sister. We have a beautiful connection. Well, which one's in it? Like, you created this confusion by saying that. But then you want to say, I'm tired. It's exhausting. Watch your words. Watch your words. So Tia Mowry is clearing the air about the relationship with Tamara Mowry. Over the weekend, Tia made waves when she expressed on her new WeTV docuseries, Tia Mowry, My Next Act, that she wished she and Tamara were still close. She shared, I wish I could pick up the phone and call her, but that's just not where we are right now. That tells me you have distance. Yeah, and she just, yes, grown woman, she decided to go through a divorce. So why is it so awkward? Like, anything to drive ratings for their show. All right. So it says, leaving fans to speculate about their bond. Like, when you say the words like, me and my sister are not that close, we're going to take that at face value. You put those words out there, but now you don't want to be accountable. Here we go. I'm so tired of celebrities. However, in recent interviews with Us Weekly, Tia clarified that the comment wasn't about any rift, but the physical distance between them. Like, girl, bye. I feel like as we grow up, we all start our own families and take on new roles and responsibilities, she explained. In these transitions in life, sometimes you just want a hug. So call your sister. Call your sister. Like, and she said, and that's not the case. It's called life. While Tia lives in LA, Tamara is settled in Napa with her family. I love my sister very much. We have a closeness and beautiful connection. It's just how life unfolds. Tia, go sit down, girl. Hey, Aaron. Go sit down, girl. You playing in our face. Pick up the phone and call your sister. Period. You put this information out there, and you expect us to be mind readers and guess like, oh, you didn't mean that, and you didn't. We're not mind readers. And if you want to be closer to your sister, just pick up the phone. Yes, grown woman, attention seeker, and that's what this is giving. And you know who comes on the tail end of that? Trolling Corey. Okay, let's get into him. Shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. Now he's getting vulnerable and opening up about sleepless nights and tearful journey after divorce from Tia Mowry, whom he wishes the best unconditionally. It's given you're missing your bag. Because let's just face it, she was the breadwinner. And God forbid, now you got to stand on your own 2 feet. Hey, DC. Hey, girl. So now Corey wants to troll. Here we go.
That you couldn't sleep for a year and a half or something, and that you cried for a lot of that time. How difficult was that period in life for you? Because we know as men and as black men, we're starting to get into a space where we talk about not only mental health but emotional health. Right. And we've learned ways to be vulnerable and open. But to share that in a room full of people, I mean, that's something that you felt deeply. Mm-hmm. How did you find a way to get through that time while also having to still be a father, a provider, right, and do your job?
I feel like you'll never get through that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of praying, a lot of knowing that God is real. God is actually truly real in my life. A lot of stillness, man. When you sit still a lot, you can hear a lot of things for me. A lot of isolation, solid.
On a recent panel, you said you
Annoying. Here we go.
Just knowing, if I can just put one foot in front of the other, and take it a day at a time. Because I'm taking a day at a time, still to this day.
really,
Yeah, I just take it a day at a time. Black men have feelings. Black men hurt. Black men are in like pain, and sometimes we don't have outlets to, like talking to you now. No one really asked me these questions. Never really. So it's like sometimes we feel like we're dealing with it alone, not unless you have like a therapist or a close confidant or like friend. But it's not easy because it feels like as a black man, you can't show vulnerability to the world,
Why not?
because it's a form of weakness.
No,
But it
it's
should
not.
be looked at as a form of strength. Like men do need to cry. Because when it's all bottled up, and inside, that's when stress, things can happen, different tensions. You gotta to and just
It's giving him and Tia working together. This is for therapy. And although I appreciate Corey opening up, the timing is just weird to me. But we live in a different time where it is okay for black men to be vulnerable. Okay? But I just really feel like this is attention seeking on both Tia and his part. Okay? And granted, divorce is hard. I feel like Corey was blindsided. And I feel like Tia had an awakening. Like, oh my God, I've been taking care of this grown man all of these years. I mean, that's what happens when you pick people up from the bus stop. I'm just saying. Here we go.
an outlet to release. Like I said, that's the only way that you can get to the true healing of everything. So yeah, when I was speaking in Miami, that's just how I felt at the time.
mm,
So to this day, I look at my kids and say, "Daddy got you forever." I look at my daughter. When they smile at me and they know Daddy really loves them. My son knows Daddy really loves me. That's what brings me joy right now, and that's what keeps me saying, "I'm I'm on my way. I want to be the biggest in the world." From a humble place, but I feel like from a skill set, I feel like I am that dude. Like that's just how I really feel, and I feel like I can step into that more because of my children, because of my mom and having the promise I gave her, and I'm ready to do all those things. So
and parenting being
yeah,
side of it and trying to make sure that you both are still in the same lane of raising your children
right.
to the best of your ability. How has it been adapting to that and continuing to do such a good job as y'all are?
Everything is about the kids. Their well-being, their future. Um, and just co-parenting, you know what I'm saying, and keeping it still a family and keeping it love
Still a
based,
family.
still keeping God first at the center of everything and just walking with love, man. That's all it's about. I wish her the best with everything, and that's unconditional for me. I love unconditional. I can't get caught up in what's going on out there, what people are saying. I just know where my heart is at, and I have to continue to move that way because I want all my blessings for me. And if I succeed, she succeeds, our kids succeed. So I have no room for failure or no room for no, you know, mistakes right now in my life. That's how I look at it.
Side of it and trying to
Look, they both on the same page when it comes to the kids. Hey, Couture Bay, thank you for joining. They're both on the same page when it comes to the kids, but like I said, I feel like the timing is kind of calculated, being that she's coming out with her show and things like that. And I just feel like she's playing in our face with the words. You clearly said that there's some distance between you and your sister, and now you're trying to clean it up. And I just say, you know what? Pick up the phone and call your sister. Corey, you know what? I'm glad you're in a healthy place at this point. People need to learn to appreciate their partners when they have it. And sometimes people just outgrow each other. I feel like they're both at a place of acceptance. Ooh, girl, tell me about it. Katorbe said Tia is a liar. I feel like she is too, especially with her doubling back with her comment about her sister. Seriously. Cause we still like, are you gonna really like? I don't even want to watch this series because I don't feel like she's gonna be honest. Because I remember when the article came out, when she first announced that she was divorcing Corey, in the small caption, it said like he was sleeping with men too. But are you going to keep it real about that? Or are you going to keep gaslighting us? Like he's a narcissist and things like that. None of her family is involved at all. It's weird. All right. So some of the things she's going to touch on in her new show is dating and her being scared to date and things like that. And I just want to say, Tia, go sit down. All right. So these are some of the headlines. Shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. Look at some of the attention seeking behavior in the headlines that are out. Tia Mowry reveals she scheduled her sexy time with her husband, Corey Hardrick. So you take all the spontaneity out of your relationship when you do that. It's not authentic. Corey Hardrick denies cheating on his wife, Tia Mowry. Lies. Yes, please support this live and thumbs up the video. Corey Hardrick breaks his silence after Tia Margie divorce filing, says he loves his wife and family during Instagram life and session. See, look, he was not in that same place as her. Tamara Mari Housley says her sister Tia is the happiest she's been in a long time since the divorce announcement. Ciao. Corey Hardrick denies having a girlfriend after split from wife Tia Mari. Don't got no girlfriend. I got my kids. Okay? Tia Mari and Corey Hardrick finalized divorce 6 months after announcing split. Tia Mari will reportedly pay zero in spousal after settling divorce with Corey Hardrick. I mean, she was the breadwinner. Tia Mari reveals she's nervous and terrified to start dating after divorce. You know what this is giving? She's really not that relevant anymore. In the entertainment, I think she has a show on Netflix, a sitcom. But I mean, who's really buzzing about Tia? I just really feel like this is all a clout chase to drive attention to the new show so that people will watch. So I posed a question to my naughty crew: are y'all gonna watch her show? Because I'm not interested. I'm really not. I'm not interested. And I'm just thinking, she's playing in our faces. Right. That's what I'm feeling. Tia's looking for sympathy. She wants to be back in the limelight. And so she is using her divorce. And I feel like she's exploiting her divorce. And it's just like, we're not here for it anymore, Tia. We're really not. So leave it in the comments, Naughty Crew. Let me know what you think. I really feel like what she said the first time was what she meant. Her and her sister aren't that close. And I feel like Tamara is off loving on her husband, growing her family, enjoying life. Her husband owns a vineyard and things like that. And for years, Tamara lived in Tia's shadow. Okay. She dealt with a lot of ridicule and backlash and people calling her like the ugly twin and things like that, and she's finally found her own lane outside of her sister's shadow. And I loved her on the real. She was like one of my faves. Out of all of them, I love Tamara on the real. We went out. Plus, she made it seem like Tamara would be on the show. It's like she's trying to get that whole twin flow going again from when they were on Sister Sisters. Like they did everything together. And I remember when her and her sister had their first reality show. Um, that was right before Tamara got married, I believe. And she touched on all these insecurities about living in her sister's shadow and things like that. And I just remember Tia just coming off pretty mean to me. But she was pregnant with her and Corey's first child and things like that. Tia gives me a little narcissistic tendencies. You know what I mean? Because she was the pretty, well, in her eyes, the prettier twin, she got a lot of the attention. And what I was really proud about Tamara when she was doing that show is how she pivoted and created her whole own lane away from her sister. So I love that about her. I love that about her. Do y'all remember that when they had that first reality show? Right. Create your own lane now. Because Tamara is happy. She's happy in her life. She got her man. Okay, her man is providing. You know what I mean? It's like she's trying to get that twin shit back, and it's past. It's past. Thumbs up this video, please. Thumbs up the video. All right. Next, I want to get into Tracy Braxton's husband. Right, grown woman. They're twins, not conjoined twins. I want to get into Tracy Braxton's husband, Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. They seem to be having a lot of conflict. And you know what? I blame them damn Black Braxton sisters. I really feel like they are the reason they going through it. So some footage leaked recently of Tracy Braxton's husband, Kevin Surratt Sr., and his son getting into a dispute. And I'm just like, who leaked this? Who leaked this? All right. I feel like they're doing anything to drive ratings to the shows because it's coming out that the Braxton sisters are really, really liars. Okay. I've seen the live reading of Tracy's will. I've seen footage, and Kevin Sr. seemed to have abide by Tracy's wishes for the most part. Okay. And he's been out doing a bunch of podcasts. I know he's been on Cheryl's World and things like that. And you know what? Even through it all, the way Tawanda is trying to disparage him and cause a divide between him and Kevin Jr., he's still not talking bad about them. Even though they trying to block him every way they can. I don't think it was a recent incident either. And that's why it took a while for me to even talk about this. Because I was like, I want to see what develops out of it. Well, I have Kevin Sr.'s response and also Kevin Jr.'s response. We're gonna get into it together. And I felt the footage was like kind of blurry. But shout out to the Jasmine brand for gathering the footage. Let's see if what we can hear from it, okay?
No. You told me no. You told me no. You told me no. You told me no. When I asked you if living in our house, you said no though. But you said no. You told me no. You told me no. I'm not lying. I no reason to lie to you. Who the motherfucking dude? Let's do it. 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 Call your motherfucking mother cancer. You call my wife cancer.
Wow. Wow. You know, When people are grieving, emotions are at an all-time high, and people can be very, very sensitive and unpredictable, right? And so that's what I gathered from this. I mean, this is a father and son having a dispute. But the first thing I thought about Naughty Crew is like, who leaked this footage of this private moment between father and son grieving the number one woman in their life, Tracy? They are messy. Thank you very much. They are both hurting, and yes, they need to take this off the internet. Um, but I feel like the Braxton sisters, Tawanda mainly, they're using the show to weaponize against Kevin Sr. and to exploit Tracy. I really feel that way. And I think they putting on. Um, Showing that personal footage of her when she was sick, and also like throwing this fake birthday party for Tracy, knowing y'all all divided, y'all not that close. This is not helping the situation. So right after the footage leak, Kevin Sr. came out to speak. Shout out to It's On Site. Let's get into his commentary first. But he's been speaking, and he's not against his son. He wants to do everything he can to help his son through this tough time. Kevin Jr. is going through a divorce, everything. He's grieving his mother, him being the only child. He's going through a lot. He's going through a lot. So let's hear what Kevin Sr. has to say.
That's been circulating on social media. It's showing a disagreement between my son and I. Unfortunately, this video was recorded by someone with intent on gaining notoriety and defaming my character. During this exchange, some disrespectful remarks were made. As a father, I felt it was important to address this situation firmly and in the moment. I want to make it clear that no physical altercations occurred, and this incident happened some time ago and is being made to seem recent. It's disheartening to see this recording being used to create division and to mock our relationship. It
Right.
feels like yet another instance personal family disputes being exploited for attention.
Right.
My priority is to protect the integrity of my family in a constructive way and to minimize the emotional impact during this time of crisis.
Period. And that's exactly how I feel. I feel like Tawanda and the sisters are exploiting the situation, and it's causing a divide, and it does not look healthy. It makes me not even want to watch the show anymore. Kevin Jr. has spoken out as well. Oh man, I think I missed that one. Here it is. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for capturing this
argument, and it appears to have escalated physically. Can you tell us what that argument was about exactly?
Well, basically, me and my father, we had, it was this disagreement that we had about not only with my mother, but also with me and him, you know. But these are things that we have been working on. We've been working on like a ongoing like bettering of the relationship between each other because it's always been like a a wall between us. But we're knocking it down by communicating more. Because I feel like as father and son, like I need my father. And at the same time, I do love my father. He's my last parent right now. So um, the incident, it occurred, but from here on out, we're trying to just like mend our relationship, moving forward from that time. It was sometime, it wasn't too long ago it happened, but at the same time, like we're still trying to move past it, you know.
Still trying to work on it. And I was going to ask you that you touched on it because your dad just recently did an interview and he said that the footage is old. Can you tell us specifically when that incident took place? Like how old is it?
It's I would say it's not saying it's old, but it was, it wasn't too long ago. You know, so it was one of those things like I said, we had the incident. We was trying to talk things out, but at the same time, like it got heated. You know, father and son sometimes get in an argument, and that happens. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm trying to fix it. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to nigga on it. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to paint him as a bad person because he made a mistake.
Period. This is a father and son that love each other. And I really think it's messed up that the Braxton sisters are trying to put a wedge between the father and son when they are all each other has within their family unit. You know, at the end of the day, when the cameras go off, he's only going to have his father to touch on. But I'm glad to hear that they are working. And Kevin has been saying, like, they've been working through the issues. Yo, what parent child relationship, especially once they get grown, don't you don't you have like some type of disagreement? You know, sometimes these kids go out here, they hard headed, and they think they know everything, and they don't. You know, and they get mad at the parent when we just tried to give them a little guidance. But at the end of the day, there's a thin line once they become adults, right? How much you can parent them. So I think it's really, really messed up the way they tried to weaponize the Braxton sisters, the way they tried to weaponize Tracy's passing to put a divide between a father and son. I just think that is really messed up, especially at this time when they all need to come together. When they all need to come together. And Tracy, this was not her wishes to have this divide. This was not her wishes at all. And y'all just, the Braxton sisters, Tawanda, all of them, y'all just trying to create a problem. Y'all trying to rehash troubles Tracy and her husband had in their marriage that they worked on. They did the work to work through that. And you gonna try to make it seem like they didn't? I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting the way they're trying to exploit their sister's passing. Please thumbs up the video. But I'm glad to see that the two Kevins are working together to work through their issues. And I hope they can take it offline. I know Kevin Sr., I seen him in an interview. I think he was on Sherelle's World where he said he does not have any plans on contesting the will or anything. But it was some sisters trying to drive the narrative to create ratings for their show. Because other than that, they not sharing too much about their lives. Except for Trina and her messy ass husband, okay? They look to be divided, okay? But nobody else wants to really share their lives. Tamar is friend of the show, drama queen as usual. But at the end of the day, what it is, y'all don't want it to really come out the way Tracy really felt about y'all. And the way y'all treated her on a regular basis. And I showed footage on my channel of different scenes of Tracy talking about her relationship with her sisters and her creating boundaries and things like that. And what it really was, all of them were mad at Tracy because when the father cheated and left with the mistress, Tracy was the only one that kept a relationship with her father. She was the only one that had a relationship with his new wife, and they were mad about it. They felt like Tracy should have took their side and stood up and stood behind the mama. And Tracy got better sense. Like, no, I love my mama and my daddy, and I'm so tired of these evil witches trying to force Tracy in a corner like she gotta go along to get along with them all the time. When y'all have isolated her and treated her bad. I remember in the first season when they tagged Tracy as the wannabe. I remember Tamar when she dropped her album, she had her first concert, and they wanted to surprise Tamar. I think it was Trina and Tracy, and Tamar went off calling them Teletubbies and cursing them out. I remember when Tracy genuinely tried to go check on her sister Tamar when she was in the midst of divorcing Vincent, and Tamar acted like she didn't exist. They constantly treated her bad, and Tracy in the end started to stand up for herself. I remember when they wanted to protest We to try to get more money for the show, and Tracy was the only, she carried the show by herself. And they was mad at her for that. And that's what y'all trying to avoid. That's what y'all trying to gaslight the world and create this whole scenario like y'all was so close and like y'all treated Tracy so well. But you know what? Through all this, Kevin Sr. has not disparaged none of you. And I believe he's been honest about everything. But y'all haven't. And y'all gonna have to answer to y'all maker for it. They all needed a check. That's why they wanted the show to come back. Hey to Couture. She said Tamar didn't want to do the show. They gaslit her too. Used Tracy against her, which is sick. Child. Tamar is trying to make us forget how big a fool she was made of by Colonel. Child. He's a class act. Period. At the end of the day, that was his wife. He loved his wife. He honored his wife. They got married young. You understand? Did he make mistakes? Yeah. And on marriage boot camp, Tracy also admitted that she had her indiscretions too. Don't nobody want to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? But ultimately they stood strong together. All right. But I just hope the two Kevins can cut out the sisters and do their own thing. To be quite honest, at this point, I think they should make their own show so they could drive their own narrative. And that's that on that on that. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments about this situation. But I thought it was a low for them to leak that footage. And it came from the sisters. It came from the sisters. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, up next, I want to get into Jennifer with Basketball Wives. Child, dumb. I told y'all, Naughty Crew, she was going to walk down that aisle. I knew she was because she still walked down that aisle with Eric Williams when she found out she had the baby. Okay, Jennifer is hell bent on making Christian seem like an honest person. He's not. But you know what? She make her bed, she gonna have to lay in it. And maybe when the feds is knocking at her door, arresting Christian again for his fraudulent schemes, maybe she'll wake up then. Well, she did it. The judge granted Christian permission to go to the Paris wedding, and then after the honeymoon, he has to come back and turn himself in to finish out his sentence for violating his probation. Well, none of the basketball wives showed up, okay? And then in watching a little bit of the show that I did watch, I'm just like, wow, ain't nobody keeping it real. And then Evelyn was out here gaslighting with her comments on social media and things like that. And it's just like, tell her to her face when it's time or whatever. Well, they must have been on all our comments and hearing all our commentary because they addressed it at the reunion. Because I'm just like, what's the elephant in the room? Like, because if it was my girl, I would be pulling my girl like, girl, don't do this. Don't do this. It's all sorts of red flags. Don't do this. And as friends, only thing you could do is tell them. Ultimately, your friend got to make the mistake, right? But Jennifer's dumb. She like being dumb. I'm convinced. She like being dumb. All right. So they had the reunion and they confronted Jennifer. Child. Yes, grown women. Look up dummy in the dictionary. You'll see Jennifer. Okay. Now, number one, let's look at her history of men. She was married to Knot, who was cheating on her, right? Then she got with Hips from Sweetie Pies, Tim Norman, okay, who ultimately deleted his nephew for hire, and I think he was gonna do the mama next, to be quite honest, because that's how greedy he was. Their relationship was a hot mess. Ended up with all sorts of restraining orders and things like that. Then she got with a dude that scammed her out of her car. All right. Then she did a show about scamming right next to the number one scammer. Like, you did not learn anything, Jennifer. You did not learn anything. You're a glutton for punishment, and you're going to get what's coming to you. You really are. So her track record isn't good. And I was done with her on the Carlos King interview when she was like, I don't know why people care so much about my relationship because you're a public figure. One thing I disagree with Carlos King talking about, oh, you're America's Black Barbie. No, you're America's dummy. That's what you are. You're America's dummy. All right. And you went on Carlos King trying to convince us that this man is a good man. And shout out to Simone Redwine, who has been debunking your whole storyline from the very beginning, from the restitution being not 250,000, but $12,500. Okay. And then y'all try to gaslight and lie to us. And you try to say, well, Christian never asked me for money, when there's a whole clip out there of him asking you for the money. Girl, you could lie to yourself, but you cannot lie to us. But I was done after that interview, all right? And who I feel bad for, who you don't have any compassion or empathy for, Jennifer, because that's where you going to get everything you deserve. Number one, his victim that he went to prison for, okay, for DV. I don't care how you put it, it's DV. I don't care if it's downgraded to kidnapping. If you ask me, kidnapping is in DV category. He pleaded down. Who else I feel bad for is the two childless children that are on welfare and homeless. Because their dad won't support them because he's too busy whining and dining the label whore he just married. Because you too materialistic to really look deep inside of a person's soul. It's all about the aesthetics for me. And it shows me how empty and unhappy you are as a person. That's why you feel yourself, Jennifer, with all these things. Because you really don't have substance as a person. You're really miserable. And that's why you decided to walk down the aisle with this scamming, deadbeat piece of shit. And I said it. Thumbs up this video. Woo! You on that show talking about, oh, Christian would have been better off giving her the keys and letting her drive drunk. You insensitive ass bitch. You shallow ass bitch. And when he knock you upside your head, let's see if you'll take the keys and go drinking and driving. Here we go. I'm done. I digress. Shout out to the neighborhood talks for capturing this footage from the reunion. Here we go.
Question is Sheila from Lubbock, Texas. Jennifer, a video came out where a lawyer says she did some digging and found out Christian's restitution wasn't $250,000 but $12,000. Have you seen proof that the amount was $250,000?
First of all, these people doing all this digging, they have no idea what they're talking about. That was the initial amount, but there's motions that get filed.
Okay.
So there was an additional motion that got filed for more money, which was hospital bills.
Okay.
Like, I know the truth. The restitution is paid, so he's done with this case.
Was that something you guys did together, or did he pay this off on his
The
own?
Christian has never asked me to pay a thing.
Wow.
So let's clear all that up right now. He's definitely never asked me to pay any of his restitution. He can pay it. We're good.
Evelyn, you look a little uncomfortable. Was it the restitution number?
I don't care about the restitution, but I do feel some type of way when I hear
What
about it.
way?
Because there was a domestic issue. I don't know the specifics.
That's not accurate because Christian was acquitted of anything domestic. So, I don't want that false narrative to be out there.
Can you tell me what he was actually convicted for?
False imprisonment.
Okay. Does that still make you uncomfortable, Evelyn?
It's triggering for me hearing those things. We had a conversation with her, and I just think Jennifer was talking fast, but she said, it probably would have been better if she would have something about a car crash.
If you say, don't leave, let's work this out, that's considered false imprisonment.
I ain't never saying.
He would have been better off just letting her go, get in the car crash, and whatever happened to her. Well, yeah, because that's what his attorney said. And it wasn't, I was not being insensitive to you.
I understand. You're really emotional, and I do understand you being defensive and protective. I love you and I want the best for you. The majority of us have experienced domestic violence situations, but when we hear you defend him and speak about the victim publicly, that's triggering for some of us. And whatever it was, we cannot tell her story.
No,
Right.
listen, I'm not trying to tell anybody's story.
I know, Don't be defensive with me. I
No,
know.
no, no. Listen, it's behind him. We're moving on. The restitution is done. I'm not going to continue to talk about it.
Listen, Jennifer, throughout all of the years on the show, the ladies have had strong opinions about each other's love lives.
And
So I
so
know you
has
all
she.
have tried lovingly to talk about that. I know that there have been some cast members who may not have directly addressed it with you, but do have their own concerns. And I do want you to take a listen to some audios from this season.
Her ex-boyfriend scammed her. And then she meets this guy. She doesn't have street smarts. You know, like you date these guys and you always end up in. I worry about her marrying him. I feel like he's doing some scamming stuff. It's something that's not clicking there. But I'm gonna look into it.
Jennifer, I want to ask you how you feel about what you just heard.
Well, I mean, I think it's unfortunate. And honestly, I feel bad that he gets all these attacks because he really doesn't deserve it.
Brandy, I know that when the audio was playing, it seemed like you had like a smirk on your face. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I think we're tiptoeing around the subject with her and Christian, and because we are cautious and gentle with Jennifer because we do love her and we don't want you to be mad at us.
You
There's
don't have
other
to
things.
tiptoe around anything. Just like I don't have to agree with your decision, what you saying with Jason, you don't have to agree with my decision.
It sounded like you were concerned about your friend.
Yeah, and I never investigated him because I don't want this to ruin my friendship with her because I love Jennifer. Like I genuinely love her. So I have to kind of just be quiet and find the right words because I don't want her
Evelyn.
to be upset.
But you know, as friends, we do want to be able to say how we are really truly feeling without her feeling like we're busting her balloon.
I appreciate the concern and I wouldn't expect for my friends to do anything else.
Evelyn, go suck one. That ain't nothing, Brooke. Go suck one. Ain't none of them her friends, because they would have been told her. They would have been told her. You know who the realest one up there on that stage? Jackie Christie. All right, number one, let's start with how defensive she was. Brandy tried to say something. I'm so tired of these chicks throwing Brandy husband up in her face. If she want to be with that cheating ass man, so be it. She letting her husband cheat in peace. Leave that woman in her marriage alone. What that have to do with anything, Jennifer? Okay? Then you want to downplay DV, talking about, oh, he did not get in charge with anything domestic. I think kidnapping falls under domestic. No? Am I missing something? Am I missing something? If somebody holds you against your will, that's to me domestic DV. Okay? That's the same thing. They're charging Diddy with that. Child, girl, bye. And Evelyn, if you was any sort of a real friend to Jennifer, instead of hiring a private detective to research Jackie Christie's past, why you ain't hire a private detective on Christian fake ass gold, fool's gold, okay? Like, and give it to your friend, because maybe she need the facts in her face. But then again, she would have still walked down the aisle with that buster, because it's all about the aesthetics for Jennifer. But all these broads are fake. You hear me? They are fake as they come. They are fake as they come. They gonna wait to the reunion to confront her. Child, please. It's too late. Grown woman said, nope, you on target. That is, I'm sorry, kidnapping falls under DV to me. Okay, it's kidnapping and more harassment, but I mean, in my eyes, like, especially under the circumstances with that girl having to jump off the balcony and ended up in the hospital. And let's talk about the restitution, because Jennifer act like we all didn't watch the same show. You are lying, and your lies are going to catch up to you, child. Okay, and to me, the realest one was Jackie. She's like, you know what, this bitch ain't gonna listen. I ain't got nothing to say. Couture Bay said she gave the lady a hard time last year when Jackie and the other lady brought it up. Exactly. She don't care about Jennifer. And I'm tired of them faking like they really, really close or some shit. Like, Evelyn never forgave her for talking about her daughter Shanice. Let's just keep it real. Yes, grown women, you didn't love her a few seasons ago. Period. Couture Bay said, "What did they expect from Jen? Let's be honest. Erica was knocking her between the washer and dryer. Period, and she stayed for the money. Boom." All of them are Jersey chasers, and all of them, all they care about is the money. Hey, Melanie says so. What's going on? What's up, AT2? Thank y'all for joining me. All right. All right. So, we've been on our Diddy stuff. We've been on that Diddy stuff, but I just want to make this comment because you know who else remind me of Jennifer? Angela Simmons with that Yo Gotti. Girl, you better watch your back because his name is coming up all in this case for red rum for hire. And them boys that's on the stand are talking about Yo Gotti pay for their lawyers and their legal fees. Angela, listen, girl, and listen good. You in danger, girl. You in danger. And quite frankly, and I just want to touch on it, that whole situation with his brother, Big Juke, you was there at the funeral when they gunned him down. I found it all.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
It's all suspicious and weird. And girl, you in danger. You gotta watch the company you keep, child. She is a crash dummy. She is a crash dummy. Seriously. All right, let's get into the diddler. And then we'll close the show after that. It's a couple of things I want to touch on with that. Number one, everyone is in an uproar about this book, right? I read the book. It was purely for entertainment purposes. I wanted to see what it is. It was a couple of discrepancies in there. But the author, Chris Todd, he was on, what's his name? He was on, I can't remember his name, but he was on. All right, this was a money grab. That's all it was. He saw the opportunity, and he knew people, especially at the height of Diddy getting arrested, would want to buy the book. He's claiming that her friends gave it to him. I don't believe it. And Lamont Hill, he was on Lamont Hill's channel last night, and Lamont Hill gave it to him. Like what in on the book you saying is Kim's lost words and things like that. So Lamont asked him, like, is this gonna, are the proceeds gonna go towards Kim's estate so that the children could benefit from it? Oh, I don't have anything set up. Well, are you gonna donate to DV? Well, he skirted everything around, but he was very braggadocious about how much money he made. Oh yeah, the grifter. I just read the book. Like, you know what I'm saying? I told you I don't believe 100% of nothing that come from anything from Hollywood. All right, and you have people out here that are scammers, and that's what this guy did or whatever. I'll Be Sure came out and said the book was fake or whatever. And there was a lot of lies and things like that. Chris Todd said on Lamont Hill, because he asked him straight up, like, hey, how much of the book is real? Oh, well, I only can attest to say about 90% of it's real. So it is what it is. I told y'all, I'm returning the book. I kept my packaging. Okay. But I wanted to get it out there, you know what I'm saying? So people with all my counterparts, like Couture Bay, AT2, they have to go out wasting their time buying it. Oh yeah, I know all about that, Couture Bay. But at the end of the day, I caught his live talking to this buster or whatever, and he did ask the appropriate questions or whatever. So now, I'll Be Sure has tagged the FBI, Homeland Security to launch an investigation um into Kim's circle and all the people that were around her who kind of, I feel like assisted the diddler, in my opinion, in deleting, right? I always said, like, I feel like the circumstances around Kim's deletion is suspicious. All right. And I really wish somebody would launch the reopen her case or have her body resumed, whatever you need to do, but it has to come from the family. We can want it all we want. If the family does not call for it, then there's nothing that we can do as the public. But things have been circulating all around that things have been suspicious, especially when Diddy was out here when she first passed away, and he told me, this is the love of my life. And her friends came out and disputed right away, and it is claimed that one of the last texts that Kim sent out to all her friends is, he got me, right? Also, what makes things suspicious is the fact that Diddy, the diddler, had purchased a casket 30 days before Kim passed away. Why are you planning her funeral? Why are you planning her funeral? Well, now the children are responding. Okay? Shout out to the Shade Room. Children of Kim Porter deny reports that their mother wrote a book. Any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mother is not a friend. Okay, let's get into their statement. Please thumbs up this video and share this live. Okay? So they put up a shared post. They said, we have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interests at heart. Our lives were shattered when we lost our mother. She was our world, and nothing has been the same since she passed. While it has been incredibly difficult to reconcile how she could be taken from us too soon, the cause of her death, has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process, and we ask that everyone respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day. We are deeply saddened that the world has made a spectacle of what has been the most tragic event of our lives. Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was, and her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories. We ask that everyone please respect our mother, Kim Porter, and hold her legacy in high regards so that she may rest in peace, is what she deserves. We love you and miss you, Mommy. Quincy, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah. The other thing is, and granted, they're going through a hard time. They just had to watch their father go to prison and things like that. But I still really feel like Diddy is fueling this statement. I really, really do. Um, I feel bad for the twins and all of his kids. They're forced to put up a front like they're happy and that they're strong and that they're gonna go on and things like that. And at the end of the day, this is all the doing of the diddler. Okay. It's reports saying that the twins are looking for their own apartment. And I'm just like, how? They're minors. How could that be? You know, they have to watch their father's reputation get broken down in the public. So I know that's hard because that's their only surviving parent. Um, and I could see how they wouldn't want to see their father in that light. But at the end of the day, they know something's not right. I'm sorry. They know something's not right. And I know Puffy couldn't or Diddy couldn't keep his mask on too long around those children. And my heart breaks for them that they have to see all this going down. And we just have to let the FBI and Homeland Security do their due justice in this case. And the truth will come out eventually, right? I mean, this is all on the tail end of another lawsuit dropping on their father. But I get them asking for respect and privacy. But blame the monster that's in jail, your father. He's a monster. And we're going to get into who created that monster. Who created that monster? Ridiculous. All right. So after seeing Chris Todd or whatever his name is, he is just trying to exploit the death of Kim Porter, unfortunately. Like I said, I just read the book. It was purely for entertainment purposes. It is what it is, and I know it's hard, but instead of the children blaming the public, they need to blame their father. Seriously. Mm-hmm. They need to blame their father. All right. We went over the lawsuit, the recent lawsuit that was dropped yesterday, and did his former bodyguard. He has spoken out, the one that was named in the lawsuit. And shout out to the girl Les, I think that is. So Sherman denied all wrongdoing and told Daily Mail that he doesn't know his accuser Graves, adding that her suit is just a money grab. He even went as far to say that he had no relationship whatsoever with Diddy, despite photos showing the pair together at parties in the Mogul's heyday. The bodyguard said, I know for a fact that this is a money grab. I've never seen this lady. Don't have any tapes of her. Like she says, I have. I've never seen her. I never did anything with her. I don't know none of this. I don't even know this lady, Sherman told the Daily Mail. I've never seen this person before in my life, and I could swear on it. But my words mean nothing. The problem with this right now is no matter what people like me say, hashtag Diddy is in such turmoil, and everybody who was ever around him is being blamed for anything he did. Anyone who was around him is automatically guilty. So I understand that no matter what I say out my mouth, the public and the people in the media is going to say I'm guilty and I'm a monster and I did this. But as long as I know in my heart and eyes that I had nothing to do with this, I'm fine. I can take a lie detector test any day of the week with any office of the law. Sherman founded the magazine Rom and Doms, which is mentioned in Graves' complaint. Let me tell you something. Let's see if the tape resurfaces. And if you're not on that tape, then I believe you. And if it's all lies, sue her. Period. Sue her for defamation. That solves that. I don't believe nothing that these liars say. I really don't. Ava, I'm a Scorpio. That's the fake daughter he tried to adopt. Now Melissa Ford is also speaking out about the industry, okay? Because this they created this monster, okay? The industry, Hollywood, they created the monster of the diddler. And I think they knew he was a monster. We want to get in that in a few, but let's hear what Melissa Ford has to say.
Two things right here when you were what you were talking about. There's a lot of whataboutism in what you're talking about. There's like, white men can get away with certain things that niggas can't get away with and blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, there may be a double standard, and that's something that fucking sucks, but it is a reality. There's that. The other thing that's happened is our understanding and vocabulary has changed and expanded as time has gone on for people to understand that something that might have been a very uncomfortable and experience that they didn't necessarily have the words to describe, as time goes on and you have time to process, and then also your vocabulary and understanding expands, then you are able to actually vocalize what happened to you. So listen, I agree. It can be very uncomfortable for somebody who thinks that an experience that they had with another person was on the up and up and completely consensual and stuff like that. Find out that they did not view it that way. But the reality of the situation is at that point, it is up to that person to listen to what that other person's account was, because they might have had blinders on to the situation or not really understood that what they were doing was, for lack of a better word, wrong. Like, I can't tell you how many times I ended up in that. When it came to being a woman in this industry in the late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't just accepted that shit was going to happen to you. It was expected. And it was also expected that you keep your fucking mouth shut. It was expected that if you said anything, nobody was going to listen to you. And so you just found a way to survive. Some women served other women up on a platter like fucking tadpoles. Better you than me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was survival of the fucking fittest. And that's the reality. But now things have defined out that they did not view it that way. Drastically changed. Our concept as a society as to what consent means has drastically changed. And it has forced people to come to terms with the fact that their behavior may not have always been on the up and up with how they've engaged with other folks.
I agree with that.
I totally agree. It was like this was expected in the industry. This behavior, the predatory behavior. Hey, St. Hudson. St. Hudson was on my panel yesterday. She comes from that world, the music industry and things like that. And people were taught to turn the other way, keep your mouth shut, or it'll be consequences for you too. So I'm glad Melissa is speaking out. Melissa Ford, she's a former video vixen from back in those times. And the men, they exploited the women on a regular basis. And then some of the women became predatory right along with the men. Better you than me. All right? Better you than me. But I'm telling you, Diddy being arrested because he's been able to get away with this for the past 30 years. I mean, let's call it what it is. And it's definitely a political agenda behind what's going on right now. I told you guys, we talked about this. And also, Jonathan Odie laid it out 4 years before Cassie's lawsuit when he went and shot up the Trump Hotel. He said in that interview, he talked about the Boule and the Illuminati and how they want to take out Trump, but he's too alpha. He laid it all out, but don't nobody want to believe him, right? It was too good to be true until Cassie dropped her lawsuit. But then we didn't want to believe Cassie either until the FBI leaked that footage in the hotel. You see what I'm saying? It's a dog eat dog world. But Diddy was tied to Donald Trump. Diddy was caught up in all the politics. Remember voter die when Hillary Clinton was running and things like that. But at some point, Diddy changed his tune. Okay? Here, and you know, Diageo, all of it factors in. His lawsuit with Diageo, then Cassie, and things like that. All right? So I bring you to this video, and shout out to my naughty crew for sending me this video. Diddy launches Black Political Party. All right? He was doing too much, I'm telling you. Let's get into it. And I'm going to play this video. Please thumbs up the video. There is a political agenda here. All right? So I want to get into this. Here we go. Okay. Shout out to Revolt for this footage. Fair use commentary. Here we go. And I want this video to play while we listen.
If Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. This man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up. Me and you've been talking for a minute about, chopping it up and some real talk, you know what I'm saying, where it's not but the whole social media effect. Like when I look at the videos of like, Malcolm, Martin, Stokely, what I'm saying? I wish I could have seen a black man conversation. I couldn't have talked to nobody about what we're gonna talk about but you. You know what I'm saying? That's a testament to your journalism. Man, you're an inspiration to me, bro. I want to see where you at. I want to see where you at. You know, you sparked a crazy conversation.
All right, he's doing this interview with the bootlicker licker himself, Charlemagne, the devil. Okay, the other allegedly rapist. It take one rapist to know another. All right, and I just want to put that out there. I don't like Charlemagne. I don't like how he exploited his victim, Jessica, all across the revolt, and that's why he's being sued right now. But just bear with me. There's a whole meaning behind this. Y'all saw the reel that I was playing, right? Diddy was all up in Trump's face. It was all good. Even Trump's son came out and said how he was all up in the Diddy parties, right? Now, what changed? What changed? And you wonder why they coming after your ass, Diddy. Here we go.
You told everybody to hold their vote. Yeah. I want to see where you at with it. So, a couple of months, I told everybody hold their vote hostage. A lot of things have gone on since then. None of us expected. I think this president has done a great job of rattling America. When you move in fear, you don't have any leverage. The way I felt before is the way I still feel. Things have got too serious of a point. Seeing what's going on, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote. Stand back and stand by. Stand back and stand by. Yeah. We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We taking this like, oh, we're in a presidential election. We're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death of this man is white people. Explain. If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war. If people in America want a race war, they'll not vote. I'm an independent, first of all. When I vote, I try to do what's best for my community. Let's be clear on that. You're not standing behind your decision to hold your vote anymore. You want people to go out there and vote. It would be irresponsible of me to have us hold our vote hostage. But it would also be irresponsible of me to just let this moment go by. The world is watching, and not do everything I can to make sure that going forth that we're a part of the narrative, that we own our politics. And so I'm launching one of the boldest movements.
There are moments you see everyone you love in one place.
Music mogul and rapper.
Okay? So Diddy was trying to launch his own political campaign. What happened, Diddler? You was all good with Trump. You cozied up to Trump. I just gave a whole reel. Hey Tarshella, thank you for joining. I just gave a whole reel. What happened, Diddler? You was real cozy with the Trump before. Exactly. That's on Revolt. That interview was on Revolt. So shout out to my naughty crew. I just wanted to. There's a political agenda here, and so when you start talking out loud like that and pissing off the elite in this political year that we having, you immediately made yourself a target, sir. Because you know it's all good until you're not. And what I think this is a testament is of how it's a dog eat dog world when it comes to politics and Hollywood. You know, as long as I can benefit off of you, you only as good as your last favor, right? As soon as there's not no benefit to me, I gotta discard you like last week's trash. All right. That just goes to show how phony they are. All right. But to understand the monster that the diddler is, you gotta understand where he came from. You gotta understand where he came from. And shout out to Voodoo Doll for giving me this lead on this commentator. But I want to do a breakdown of where the diddler comes from and where he gets these heinous behaviors from. Okay? And it starts from the parents, right? It starts from the parents. I keep telling y'all, one of the big things in America, these parents be selling their kids for money. We saw that in Aaliyah. We seen that with Rihanna. Her father sold her for $500,000. All right. We seen Usher get sold to the diddler by his mama. Okay. Maybe Diddy was sold up and offered up. His mama was a madam. His mama was a just like Carisha girl. Let's get into this commentary. Please thumbs up to this video. Shout out to Ashley Says So. For this commentary, yes, say Hudson. It's like the Twilight Zone right now. Shout out to Ashley Says So. She did a great breakdown of where the diddler came from. All right, we're gonna listen to it together. Here we go.
Says So Squad and Scandalites, as well as everybody else. This is Ashley with Ashley Says So, and no, this is not an old Hollywood scandal video, but you guys have been asking about it, and we really need to talk about it in a doggone way. Now, before we get started, I have to give a shout out to King Devo Strut. Thank you so much for the Amazon wishlist gift that you sent me. I also need to give a special thanks to Miss Brenda. Thank you as well for the Amazon wishlist gift that you sent me. I cannot stress enough to all of you guys how grateful I am that you guys helped me out by sending me gifts. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump into it because everybody knows about the Diddy situation, but let's see if we can try to figure out how he actually got here. You know this whole story is about to be a scandalous thing, child. After this disclaimer. So y'all know my disclaimer, all of my videos are for entertainment purposes. Everything in them is rumor, gossip, and scandal that I get from books, word of mouth, on TV, anywhere I can find it. On this particular video, I need to add that there are also several conspiracy theories on this video. I do not know what is true or false. Let's get to it. Sean John Combs was born on November the 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York. His mother's name is Janice Combs and his father's name was Melvin Earl Combs. And gossip claims that Janice and Melvin were two kids from the ghetto who dreamed of an easy life full of fine things. Now, Melvin started off by going to the military, but when he came back home, allegedly, he decided to sell drugs. Now, although Diddy likes to say that his daddy was as big as Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes, child, the streets say that Melvin wasn't nowhere near as big as all that. But whatever amount of money he touched, it was enough to catch the eye of a girl that was well known across the city.
All right. And even though he wasn't as big as Frank Lucas, after Melvin's passing, Lucas continued to take care of Diddy. Keep that in mind, okay?
Was his future wife, Janet. Gossip claims that Janice was a girl who felt like she could use what she got to get herself to the easy life. And baby, if you thinking Janice was one of these Rudy Pooty $40 hoes, oh honey, you got another thing coming. Janice knew how to enterprise. And she set her stuff up like a business. Stories say that she used to kind of have a makeshift ghetto modeling agency. And so she used to throw these fashion shows and she would recruit beautiful girls around town to walk in these fashion shows. But see, that ain't where the big money came in at. The money would come in when politicians or celebrities or big time basketball players, boxers, whoever it might be, when they would come into town and throw parties. And they used to contact Janice to bring in her models to walk around the parties, dance, flirt with people, things.
Okay? All right. Right now, I see a couple of parallels. Janice Combs did fashion, so did Puffy. Janice Combs had models, so did Puffy. Janice Combs threw parties, so did Diddy. Okay? And Janice Combs provided the party favors, the models, okay? And if they did extra favors, there was more money in it for her. What does that sound like? The foundation of the freak offs. Let's continue, Ashley. Come on. Make sure y'all go over to Ashley Says So and subscribe.
But rumor has it the big money came in when those girls did a little bit more than dancing and flirting, if you know what I mean. But allegedly, one of those models who did a little bit more than flirting and dancing was underage. And so the folks say Janice packed up shop, child, and never threw a fashion show or provided entertainment for a party ever again. And rumor has it,
Underage models. You want to know where he get it from? He get it from his mama. Let's go.
Up Janice's occupation history and it says something about her being a model, this is what people are referring to. So anyway, while Janice's alleged moneymaker occupation got shut down, Melvin was still rolling on with his. And by the year 1971, he was doing so well where he wasn't bringing in money like Nicky Barnes and Frank Lucas, but he definitely was able to come in the room with them, especially Frank Lucas. He was actually rumored to be a very close associate to Frank Lucas. But sadly, by the year 1972, Melvin Earl Combs was murdered. Now, most people believe that Melvin was murdered because he was a snitch. But some people who are allegedly in the know of the real reason said that Melvin was actually murdered for messing with somebody else's woman. Now that's a bombshell already, but what makes this story even more of a bombshell is that allegedly Janice was the one who set Melvin up. See, these people said that Melvin was cheating on Janice with a 22-year-old woman by the name of Cassandra or Corman. And she was upset that Melvin wouldn't leave her alone. And so that next night, when Melvin left to go see the girl, Janice called the girl's boyfriend and told him that Melvin was over his girl's house. And
what does that sound like to you? Naughty Crew? Orchestrating people's deletion? Couple of names come to mind. Wolf, his former security and best friend, alleged Justin's alleged father. hmm We went down in Atlanta. That was orchestrated by Diddy. Or what about Tupac at the quad shooting? Set up by Diddy. Or what if Biggie? Doesn't that sound familiar? You want to know where he get it from? He get it from his mama. Thumbs up the video.
Hustler caught Melvin sitting inside of his car outside of that girl's apartment and walked up to him and put two bullets in his head. But the folks say that Janice thought that the boyfriend was just gonna kick down the door and start beating up Melvin. She had no idea that that boyfriend was gonna take it that far and actually kill Melvin. So per the rumor or the story, this is why Janice left Harlem as soon as Melvin passed away, because she was allegedly afraid of how people were going to react when they found out that she was the one who gave Melvin's location away. It's already some mess, but let's go ahead and get back to Diddy, because gossip claims he was 3 years old when his father passed away. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but he also had a little sister and she was only a few months old. And when Diddy became of age to go to school, she either used a large portion of money that she had saved to get him into a Catholic school called Mount St. Michael, or someone from the school, Mount St. Michael, came to Janice and offered Diddy free tuition. Whichever one of those.
I think Frank Lucas helped orchestrate that, but go ahead. We could beg to differ on that point. But this school, the history behind this school, is everything. Thumbs up the video.
True, Diddy did end up attending this Catholic school, and he was such a favorite there that he served as an altar boy. He built a lot of special relationship with a lot of the priests and clergy there. He also was
Special relationship with priests and clergy. And we all know about what happened in the Catholic faith. Let's go.
Ball team. And here's where things get strange. Because you see, Mount St. Michael has a reputation for multiple sexual abuse allegations.
Yes.
And from the articles online, the abuse.
Look at all these articles. So who's to say Diddy the diddler wasn't a victim? You know, a lot of victims turn predator, i.e. Usher delivering Justin Bieber to the diddler, even though he wouldn't take his own kids.
Especially prevalent in the 1970s, which was the time that Diddy was attending. Matter of fact, the abuse was so much that Diddy graduated from the school in 1987. Well, here's an article from 1988 where somebody was accusing one of the priests there of messing with them. So the whole thing kind of makes you wonder, does that have any ties to the situation that Diddy is in today? But let's move on. So after Diddy graduated high school in 1987, he went to Howard University for a little while. And somehow while he was attending there, he started to have close ties with the rapper Heavy D.
And I just want to add, while at Howard University, he managed to grape and rug a male there at school. He managed to beat his girlfriend publicly in the middle of the quadroom. Okay. But yet Howard gave him an honorary degree after all of this. I digress. Let's move on.
And once Diddy found out that Heavy D was signed to a label called Uptown Records, and Uptown Records was headed by a black man by the name of Andre Harrell, Diddy started begging and pleading to Heavy D to set him up a meeting with Andre Harrell. And gossip claims after Diddy's first meeting with Andre Harrell, Andre was so impressed that he immediately let Diddy come in as an intern. And soon after that, Diddy became the A&R person for the company. But the messy streets say intern, A&R, blah, blah, blah. Child, these folks say all of that was just fancy words for side chick. Baby, the folks say within a short period of time, Diddy ended up moving in Andre Harrell's house. Andre bought Diddy a car, bought Diddy all type of jewels. And most people don't know if Andre kind of forced Diddy to become this for him in order to move up in the music industry, or if Diddy was just cool with being this anyway and nobody forced him into anything. Whatever the case may be, all I know is that rumors on the streets is that Diddy and Andre Harrell were lovers. And according to the rumor, Diddy was able to go to Uptown Records and do whatever the heck he wanted to do. That is until he put together a celebrity charity basketball game.
Yes, that is the first criminal act, that basketball game. Wendy Williams was on the radio urging people do not go to this event. What Diddy did was oversell tickets. He knew what the capacity was, nor did they did not have enough security to handle a crowd like this. Okay? But here marks his first sacrifice. Let's go.
Named Uptown Records, and 9 people ended up passing away. And what happened?
9 people ended up passing away as a result of that event. And he managed to weasel his way out of it.
Diddy sold tickets to 5,000 people to come to the basketball game, but the gym only held a capacity of 2,300 people. And so when they opened up the doors for people to come in, everybody wanted to come in and make sure they got a seat. And there ended up being a stampede where 9 people lost their lives. And this is where things got kind of bumpy with Diddy at Uptown Records, because he found out very quickly that Andre Harrell might have been his boss, but he definitely was not the boss of all bosses. Because see, Andre may have owned Uptown, but he also had some partners, and those execs were not happy at all with this tragedy, because now they were being involved in different lawsuits. You know, law enforcement were looking into things, just bringing too much heat. And so they basically made Andre Harrell tighten the reins on Diddy. And Diddy, who was used to getting his way at Uptown Records, who was used to doing whatever he wanted to do, now started hearing the word no a whole lot. Matter of fact, the very last no that he heard was when he tried to bring on Notorious B.I.G. and the people at MCA said no. Andre went back to the execs at MCA and told them, well, since y'all are so scared to have this new rapper Notorious B.I.G. to be signed under the Uptown label, how about y'all give Diddy his own label?
Okay. In between time, that's when Andre Harrell fired Diddy. And if you look back at old footage, it was claimed like after that happened, the dealer went through a major depression. Okay. It was like he had a breakup. I'm just saying. I just wanted to make that point. Come on, Ashley. You're doing a good job.
And that's how Bad Boy Records got started. All these stories about how Diddy got fired from Uptown Records and became a Superman and started hustling and from the ground up built his own label and all that stuff. Baby, it didn't go down like that. Bad Boy was a satellite company, kind of like an umbrella company that was up under another company. In the link in the top comment, Andre Harrell even said this himself. He and his partners gave Diddy the money to start up Bad Boy. They even gave him a stipend account where he would have money for signing bonuses for his new artists. But anyway, Diddy gets his own label Bad Boy, and now we're gonna start getting into some of the scandal. Because as soon as Diddy started Bad Boy Records, he started to behave like he was untouchable. But as we move along in this video, you'll start to realize that he was untouchable when he was committing crimes for the people. See, the conspiracy theories say that one of the things that Diddy had to agree to and become in order to get his own label was a hitman of sorts. He had to be willing to put in any work that the big people behind the scenes wanted him to handle. And allegedly, one of the very first handlings was Tupac. See, according to the conspiracy,
Okay? Because Tupac was too vocal. He was too real. They had to tame that beast. All right? You know, Tupac mom, they was all associated with the Black Panthers. So Tupac was very in touch with his blackness. He was very in touch with the politics. He was very loud and out loud with it. Like they had to silence him one way or another. Okay? These are the same people that put the battery in Diddy back that's taking him down right now. Keep that in mind.
a few years before Tupac died, him and the rapper Eazy-E started to get calls from a certain organization telling them that somebody was trying to murder them. But this organization also told Tupac and Eazy-E that they could stop the murders from happening. All Tupac and Eazy-E needed to do was pay them some protection money. Well, rumor has it Eazy-E and Tupac realized that this was a shakedown. Wasn't nobody trying to hurt them and trying to murder them except that organization itself. And so they told the organization, no, that's cool. We don't need your protection. We'll be fine. And very soon after that, Eazy-E died of AIDS, which people in the know, especially former people who used to work for the FBI who were in the know, felt like was committed by the organization because Eazy-E wouldn't pay them for.
Okay. So the whole situation around Eazy-E being deleted and how he contracted, it's questionable. Okay. Some people say Suge did it.
So now that Eazy-E is gone, how can they get Tupac? Oh, I know. Don't this guy Tupac already have this big beef going on with that East Coast rapper Notorious B.I.G.? How about we just set the murder up to make it look like the cause of it was the West Coast and East Coast beef? Hey, Frankie, get so and so in New York on the phone and tell him I want to speak to his main enforcer, that rapper Puff Daddy. And so allegedly, the big suits talked to Puffy and told him that they would pay him very well and they would make sure that he would have continued success in in the music industry if he would set up the murder of Tupac. And so allegedly, the organization gave Diddy $1 million to get a couple of gangsters who lived in California. Okay, remember Keefe D always talked about that Diddy ordered the hit and he agreed to pay $1 million. Ultimately, Diddy gave the money to someone else. He ran off with the money. Everybody's dead in the situation. And this is my thing. This is why I don't think they'll ever be able to tie Diddy to the Tupac situation, is because the money trail. If you can't follow the money, where's the crime, right? Let's keep going. On the West Coast to commit the murder. And the folks say Diddy knew exactly what gangsters to use because the gangsters had provided security at one of his shows on the West Coast. And according to the conspiracy, those gangsters were Keffy D and Orlando Anderson, or AKA Baby Lane. There were also a couple of other gangsters involved, but those were the main two that Diddy was in contact with. So anyway, the conspiracy claims that the gangsters do away with Tupac and everything is smooth for a little while. But about a year and a half after Tupac was gone, Orlando Anderson can't stop talking about what he did to Tupac and how he was gonna always get away with it, talking too much. Because see, that organization was starting to get nervous. What if this boy talks so much? Exactly. And then Orlando ended up getting deleted. Okay. But the money still did not exchange hands. And I think and I feel like Keefe D began to speak because it was a way to squeeze the diddler for the money, to press the diddler for money. Okay. Is even word that Gene Dill followed that same formula. Okay. So that's all I'm gonna go over with this video. Y'all go over to Ashley Says So, and because a lot of this we all already know. But my point being in sharing this video, the same big wigs that back Diddy are the same ones that put him in jail right now. That put him in prison because he done pissed everybody off. Okay. He done pissed everybody off. He pissed the elite off. And it started with the Diageo deal. You know, in the beginning, Diddy was basically a brand ambassador for Diageo. That's all he was. They paid him very well though. They paid him very well. He was getting somewhat of like $60 million a year or whatever. And that was with the Ciroc. And then he moved over to the tequila. And that's when he started getting puffed up with pride, wanted to demand more, and they didn't want to pay. So that's when the lawsuit came about. But the same grade that you dig for someone else, be careful because you might be digging your own grave. So please go check out Ashley Says So's video. It's a very good video. She's an excellent content creator. But I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of the history of where the monster came from, okay? And came from his mama. That's why he think it's okay to have all these freaky parties. She created the formula. The diddler just followed in her footsteps. You understand? I love you all and I appreciate you all joining me. Let me see what these last comments are saying. DC said, I used to get advice from Andre Harrell back in the day. My sister from another mother was G Wiz of Heavy D and the boy's cousin. So I met all of these fans. Yeah, Heavy was a real one. He sure was. I loved his music. And I was hurt when he passed away. His daughter recently was speaking out, and I believe she started a foundation in the name of him. Yes, Snoop Dogg does own Death Row. So I appreciate every last one of you joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's leave it in the comments. And as you move through your day, Night Crew, make sure you
Ever in life, I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business. You drop me in your
just make sure you stand on business. There's a lot of these Hollywood people that's playing in our faces and they want us to be like dumb and stupid, just like the whole Kim Porter book scandal and things like that or whatever. Make sure you use your logical mind and you don't get
You ever been swallowed up, swallowed up?
Don't get swallowed up by the evils of this world. Just make sure you use your logical minds and just know these people have been playing in our faces for the past like 30 plus years. They let the diddler get away with what he was doing for years. It was a known secret what he did in Hollywood, okay? And they let him go by until he wasn't useful anymore. Until he couldn't make them any more money, until he started pissing off the elites, and that's why they had to silence him. Appreciate every last one of you. Please thumbs up this video, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. One.